How has technology changed sales in the time since you wrote the book?
Yeah, big time. I just can't get over it, how much has changed. You can go right back to the Olympic greeting card days of selling door to door, where everything was kind of paper-based, and you had kind of the triple press hard order forms and those kinds of things. But certainly in the the 1980s, there was tickler files, so there was you didn't really have computers that were kind of widespread. So when I said if I contacted you and I said, well, you may not have an interest now, do you mind if I call you back in 30 days? Well, there are these things called tickler files. They called them 1 through 31 files. Well, 1 through 31 meant 30 days from now, it's going to call you back. So if 30 days from now, today's the 15th, 30 days from now would be the 15th. So I would slot you back under the 15 of my index cards and then eventually have a stack of people to call back on the 15th. So part of that is that process. So think about it today. There's all kinds of software that's available that keeps track of that. That will even make the call for you. You don't even have to dial. You pretty much hit the button, the dial, you're plugged into your computer, your headpiece rings, and you simply go forward from there. There's all kinds of sales forecasting models. There's all kinds of lead generation. Again, we used to get the old D&B leads that were just index cards, or in our sales environment back in the days of cable and wireless, we had a wall of telephone books from every city in the country. So you'd pick a city that you wanted to sell on that day, and you'd pick the yellow pages off the shelf, and you'd start dialing for dollars. And that's the way it worked. Most people started with the A's. I always started with the Z's, and I had success because everybody started with the A's. So you figure if every customer, every salesperson in the world was picking up the phone book for Atlanta or New York or wherever it might be, they're always starting at the A's. By the time they got to the C's, they were tired. I always went to the Z's and worked backwards, and those people never got called. So they were happy to hear from me.